Hey everyone, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots, and I'm in my house. Andrew Lee's in his house, and also we're in your house. It's In Your House 3,
Three.
and we're talking all about it. Andrew, overall, what did you think about this show?
This show stunk.
It just felt like a glorified episode of Raw, and not a good one.
Yeah, not a good one at all. This was
You know what?
this is
My main problem with the show is that, like, the whole campaign, the whole promotion is you get to see Owen and Yoko versus Diesel and Shawn, and they don't deliver on that match. And if I had ordered this show wanting to see that match, I would be very annoyed. I think the only way to not deliver on that match is if you have a massive surprise. Like if instead of Owen Vader walked out, or instead of Owen like I don't know Chris Benoit walked out, I think then you do it. But like just have the Bulldog wrestle twice, it's like I kind of feel like I can't trust you anymore, WWF, as a buyer.
yeah. How much was this pay-per-view again?
20.
$20?
Yeah. Well, the other
Yeah,
ones were 30, 25
yeah,
or 30.
that's still a rip. That's a huge rip-off still for this.
95 in 2020. Yeah, I mean, it's a
Yeah,
ripoff even now. And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
It's a rip-off even now. You're right. This is
the other
not a good
matches,
pay-per-view.
maybe you bought this. I mean, I'm sure you bought it. I'm sure there's a lot of people like the Dave Bix fans and the Sean Ross Sapps who bought these shows because they're fucking losers, right? And that's all
Yeah.
they do. I'm more than talk. I would do that when I got cable in the 2000s. I would order every pay per view, right?
Hmm.
That's just the thing you do, correct? But like, I assume most people bought this for the main event. No one's buying this to see Dean Douglas and Razor Ramon, and then you don't deliver. I kind of think that's real bullshit.
Yeah, I can see that. But anyway, they are billing this as they got In Your House 3. They say it is 3 belts, one match. That's right. There's 3 titles all on the line in one match, taking place September 24th in 1995 in Saginaw, Michigan. 5,000 people, 146 people actually are in attendance. 160,000 pay-per-view buys. So let's do a little comparison. In Your House 1 had 180,000 pay-per-view buys. In Your House 2 had 155,000 buys. In Your House 4 will have 90,000 buys. So this is kind of like right with In Your House 2, but basically it's not getting the draw that people think it is, pretty much, I
So
think.
I'm going to say this. So 3 is up from 2. I think people were into the main event, and
That's
when
true. Okay. Give you
they
credit for that.
didn't deliver the main event, a lot of people spoke with their wallet and didn't order the next month.
I think you're hit the nail right on the head with that one.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So like I said,
You're cheating people. Did they ever do this again? Where they literally? I don't think they did it. Anyway,
you're pulling the wool on like the audience, and basically they're like, you fooled me once, you're not gonna fool me again. It's
yeah,
kind of like,
I half this show I'm watching British Bulldog wrestle, and like,
yeah.
why would I pay for that?
Basically, they're like, it's close to losing half the pay-per-view buys one
Yeah,
month later. Really,
yeah.
you're going from 160,000 to 90. That's literally, you're losing like half the audience. It's almost as
Mm-hmm.
if like
So it was like
CM
Tony
Punk.
Khan's booking the show.
Yeah. CM Punk got in a fight backstage with 1-2-3 Kid, and they were like, you know what? I'm not watching a one. I'm not watching. I'm not ordering In Your House 4. Yeah,
Dude. You know what? Did you? Sean Ross Sapp posted. So for those of you that don't know, and this is coming out Friday, so we'll see what the ratings are this week. But AEW got destroyed by NXT, featuring the main event of Little Guido. So who could blame them? And they asked Sean Ross Sapp, a listener of his stupid podcast, said, "Hey, is AEW concerned with how bad they lost in the ratings?" And they go, "I can't stress enough how much AEW doesn't give a shit. They're just focused on putting on great shows." And it's like, fuck you. Fuck you. If that is true, then everyone in charge should be fired. Like, you should be concerned. How are you not concerned?
I
You
don't think
lost
they're
a little
concerned.
Guido.
I don't think they're concerned.
Well, no, they're
They're
not, because
not.
daddy's checks are still kept being cashed.
Exactly. That's why. It doesn't matter. It's his. It's
He
his.
should just say that then. Dude,
Yeah.
it's so crazy to me that the entire wrestling media just does like fucking propaganda.
He's as concerned as Elon Musk is concerned with X losing all that money. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care
Yeah,
that Twitter all of a sudden
doesn't
is
matter.
losing
He
all.
got Trump.
Yeah.
Well, he stole the election for Trump.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter, you know. What do you call it? The opening graphic tells us about the main event, how all three titles, that when I mean all three titles, the Intercontinental title, the WWF World title, and the tag team titles are all on the line in one match. I don't think they'll ever do something like, do they ever do something
They
like
do
that?
do this Backlash 2001.
Ah, okay, okay. Remember, this is before they have all the extra titles. I liked it back then when there was only like three titles. It was kind of,
Yeah, that's probably why. That's probably why people were intrigued. Like, oh my god, all three titles up for grabs.
yeah,
You know?
because it also makes the titles mean more because there's not
Mhm.
like all this extra titles.
Mhm.
We do get the cheesy "In Your House" intro song. They have a
Oh,
custom "In Your House" song. I do like those songs. They're so cheesy. Um,
I hate it.
on
It's
comments,
so
yeah,
I like cheesy, but Brian Pillman's song is cheesy but cool. This is just deeply uncool.
yeah.
This is just
But I
deeply.
like that they have their own custom "In Your House" song for each one. I like that. Right? They're like, we're gonna make a custom "In Your House" song for each "In Your House." Um,
No.
it's not even like the same "In Your House" song. It's different per "In Your House," right? They're
You're in
investing
your
all this.
house.
they're investing. They're investing all this money and time for one fucking pay-per-view to make a song. It's
Yeah.
great. Um, Vince McMahon and Jerry King Lawler, they are on commentary, joined by Jim Ross, and this is the first time
Oh,
these
this
three
is
are.
where finally commentary picks up. We're on
Yeah,
the road to Jim Ross and Dre Lawler being together alone, but Jim Ross adds a lot to this show. I will say
yeah,
that.
he's there with Vince McMahon and Jerry King Lawler. Jim Ross has got the full-on Parkinson's at this point, so you can see it in his face.
Back
Um,
out.
what is he? Is it Parkinson's? No, it's like Bell's
No,
palsy,
Bell's
right?
palsy. He doesn't get till 98, so you're just being
No,
critical
no,
of
no. You could see it here. You could see it.
it. He doesn't realize he has it till 98.
Oh, really? He doesn't realize, but
He's just
when you
ugly.
watch this, you can tell something's wrong with his face.
Well, if he had it then, he wasn't told, and he claims he first realized he had it. He had his first real attack in 98.
Oh, because if you watch the beginning of this, where they're all three of them are just talking, you can tell one side of his face isn't really moving. Like,
Also, I think that's kind of how he talks.
oh, maybe that's probably it too. Anyway,
Yeah, you're such a racist against poor Jim Ross.
yeah.
Well, you can tell he's disfigured, bro. Actually, that happens 5 years from now. Really, bro? Because I can tell this fucking guy's so ugly, bro.
So let's go to our opening match. I was like ready for this opening match. I was like, you know what? WCW, the pay per view right before, just had a killer opening match of Flying Brian versus Johnny B. Bad. Surely WWF is going to answer back with their own fire opening match. And instead, we get Savio Vega versus Waylon Mercy. Um, they show they show you a video of Waylon Mercy just killing a worm. Like, hey, I'm gonna kill this worm. You see how crazy I am? He's also got the worst theme song coming in. It's awful. It's not a good theme song.
Mm-hmm.
They start the match by shaking hands, but then Waylon Mercy tries to cheap shot Savio Vega, but Vega avoids it and he just starts controlling most of this match. Waylon Mercy, though, does start the heat as um, Doc Hendricks in the back tells us that Owen Hart is missing. He's not at the pay per view. And then Savio Vega fires back with many near falls. Waylon Mercy, he hits a very scary looking brainbuster on Savio Vega. And this is when I realized, oh, Waylon Mercy is a really, really out of shape Dan Spivey.
Oh, you didn't realize he was Ben Spivey this entire time?
I didn't know it was Dan Spivey. Yeah. And then when I was watching, I was like, this guy sucks. Who is this guy? I was like, it's Dan Spivey. But I was like, Dan Spivey used to be good. And this guy is like, that's why he's wrestling with the wife beater on. He's
I
out,
think
he's
that's
out of
why he
shape.
actually. I think that's why he came up with his character. He probably came up with his character. He's probably like, I can sports entertain because I can't really wrestle anymore.
Yeah, he really can't. He's out of shape. He's slow. He's super
Oh.
slow in the ring. And Savio Vega hits the Caribbean kick to win the match. This is a C. This is a terrible opening match. When I watched this, I was like, they need to fire Waylon Mercy like right away.
So you know how I always say like they should bring back Doink? I'm like because they own the rights to Doink, like just repackage him. You know,
Yeah.
like I kind of feel like Bray Wyatt said like I like the basic idea of Waylon Mercy, but I'm gonna make it
Yes.
better. And I think that's what Bray Wyatt did on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Is like I'm gonna do Waylon Mercy, but I'm gonna do it good.
Because when he
And
was in NXT, his character was actually a lot like Waylon Mercy. There wasn't a lot of that supernatural bullshit, you
no,
know?
no, no. And I think, and I kind of feel like they should do that with, like, they never really admitted it, but no, Bray Wyatt did say I took some stuff from Waylon Mercy. He did say that, by the way.
Mhm. By the way,
Um,
nothing is wrong with this gimmick. It's just
it's
that
difficult.
at the
That's
end
why
of
it's
the
Bray
day,
Wyatt.
yeah, at the end of the day, it's wrestling, so you still have to deliver, right?
Mhm.
And Dan Spivey was so out of shape that he didn't bring it in the ring. That was the problem.
Yeah,
If if Dan Spivey had this gimmick, let's say like 5 years ago, I think it would have really, really stood out,
yeah.
because Dan's a big dude, but like, yeah, it's just like,
Basically, when you watch a Waylon Mercy match, you're watching like a really rough blueprint of what Bray Wyatt could be, done by a
mhm.
guy who can't pull it off. And then when you see Bray, oh, this is what happens when a guy who can pull it off is Bray Wyatt. Or Waylon Mercy. They should do this with other gimmicks. I'll tell you a gimmick I liked. What was it? What was a gimmick that you liked that no one really did right?
I have one.
What was that?
Um, Black Blood from WCW.
Yes, they should bring that back.
Yeah.
And then because no one's gonna if you do it in the way that Bray did it, no one's gonna be like, oh, this is a ripoff. I think WWF should bring back the Evil Clown. I think it's time.
Doink,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I think they
yeah,
100% should.
but
Yeah.
like the way they did Waylon going to Bray.
Mhm.
So yeah,
You
so
know
the
what?
match wasn't good, but if you want to kind of see where Bray Wyatt got a lot of his ideas, watch because Bray Wyatt's probably like watching, he'd be like, I can do that better, I can do this better, I can do that better, I can do this better. And next thing you know, he's a legend, brother.
What's a unmasked, unface painted gimmick like a Waylon Mercy that you could put on somebody just under a different name, kind of like Waylon Mercy? Because like so
Uh,
far the gimmicks that you and I picked, you could just put anybody under the mask or face paint and just call it the same name, right? It's not the same thing. Um, trying to think of.
the
Uh,
model, the model Rick Martello, even though he was pretty perfect in it.
no, he was pretty perfect in it. I mean, like a gimmick that
Oh,
failed that you
someone
think,
who stunk up the joint.
yeah, yeah, this like the gimmick didn't work, but you think,
Skinner,
yeah,
Skinner.
that's what I was thinking. Skinner could actually work with somebody. Um,
They should make Will Ospreay the new Skinner.
no, 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 no. Um, they should get like another Australian wrestler, like maybe Grayson Waller or something. Somebody like, no, you know what? Bring back Shane Haste. Bring back Shane Haste and be like, dude, you're gonna do Skinner
No,
now.
bring back Shane Taylor.
Shane Taylor, make it, yeah, Shane Taylor be like, dude, you're gonna do Black Skinner, right?
Saba
Um,
Simba. Give that to
I think
Apollo Crews.
I think you can redo Bertha Faye with Piper
Yeah,
Niven. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that could work with Piper Niven. You know, you're not gonna call her
Uh,
Bertha Faye, but you're gonna do that same gimmick. I think it could work.
Mantar.
Bronson Reed, Bronson Reed. No, 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 no.
No, Otis
Otis.
becomes the new Bastion Booger.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that could work too. That could work too. I
Because
would.
you got
I would.
use these copyrights, bro. Like, like I don't know. I kind of feel like if
WWE is sitting on so much IP that they don't know how to take
I
advantage of.
think they're nervous that the first person they do it with, it's going to backfire on them because people are going to be like, okay, let's say on Friday Night SmackDown, Kevin Owens walks out, he goes, "I'm now doing." Um, I think
No,
they're
but see,
nervous that people are just going to like, "What are you talking about?" And they're going to
no,
shit
see,
on
this
it.
is, dude. I wish you could. Yeah, I know you have like a friend who has some kind of
We both have a
influence
friend.
now.
Well, I don't know if you were friends with this guy, but
No,
I
as
do think like if you took Kevin Owens and he said, "I'm call me now, Doink. I'm fucking Doink now," and he went all the way with it. I think all you need is one guy to home run with it, and then you can do it with every game.
no. See, that's where I would disagree. I wouldn't even do it on someone like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is his own IP at this point.
No,
What you
okay. What I'm
doing?
saying is, I think they're worried that whoever does it, I just use an example, but whoever
Yeah,
comes down and goes, "I'm fucking Doink now," the fans are going to shit all over it. But I think you need to write it out, and eventually they will accept whoever it
yeah,
is as Doink. I still say the little Russian buddy, the little Russian guy should be Doink. What's his
yeah.
name?
Oh, Dragonoff. But like,
Dragunov should
okay,
be Doink.
see, I'll give you an example. They have this guy. Um, they have a whole bunch of people in NXT right now that are just floundering. They just don't have a
Mm-hmm.
gimmick, right? They're good, decent wrestlers, but like Eddie Thorpe is a good example. Eddie Thorpe is doing nothing. You know what his gimmick is? He's a Native American who's into techno.
Yeah,
I
make
swear
him do
that's
it.
what? Yeah,
Make him do
I would say like, dude, this is not working. This Native American into techno isn't working. How would you like to? How about we put you under a mask? You know, well, like, can you do Fantasia? Can you do Fantasia again? Like, you put face paint on, you'll be Fantasia, or you be Doink, or you be fucking Mantar. But
Dude,
like
how?
do
What do you
something
think Triple H's? What do you think Triple H's reaction would be like for having a creative meeting? Let's say I get hired as a writer, and I just keep going like, make that guy doink, make this guy doink, make that guy doink. How fast do you guys be fired? But I'm right. That's the thing. I
yeah,
guarantee you, like Triple H, oh, what are we gonna do with Dragunov? And I'm like, make him doink. I guarantee they look at me like I'm an idiot. I'm like, no, 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 I'm right. You're wrong. I'm right.
exactly. No, I agree.
But I
I would.
guarantee you, Triple H would be like, what are you talking about? We can't make him doink.
No, but I would do it to people that are just sitting around doing nothing.
That's right.
That's the whole point. It's like,
See, the key to making doink work is he has to be a great worker.
yes, of course, yeah, and they have to reimagine the character their way, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing. Here's the thing too. It's like WWE is all about bringing back their all the IPs they own. That's why they're renaming. That's why they're bringing back War Games. That's why they do Halloween Havoc. That's why they did In Your House. They have all this stuff that they were like, oh, we could reuse again. We already own the rights to it. You're
Mm-hmm.
sitting. They should. There should be another Mortis.
You know,
Mortis. They should just be like,
I
hey,
think
we
that
own the rights
the
to it.
way they treat it, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. The way they treated Chris Canyon, they're going to get a lot of backlash making somebody Mortis.
They
I
should
think
get a. They should get a gay wrestler to be like, you're the new Mortis.
just the problems that Chris Canyon had with that company. I don't know if
Well,
they get away anymore.
they should be like another Max Moon. There should be another Sin
That
Cara.
you can do.
Yeah,
That
they
you can
should.
do.
They
You know what
should.
it is though. I also think everyone. I'm talking about Triple H and Tony Khan and even Scott and not Scott D'Amore. Whoever the fuck's in charge of the Tommy Dreamer, I guess, in TNA.
Billy Corgan.
People are afraid of big changes and big swings. Look, Dustin Rhodes becoming Goldust was a huge swing. No one would have the balls to attempt it. Like if Will Ospreay has a disagreement with Tony Khan and he goes to WWF and they're like, "We're gonna make you doink," he doesn't have it in him to pull it off because it's such a huge fucking change. But this is the thing that no one gets. When you make that huge change and you commit to it, you can turn someone into a fucking legend. But no, that's why when someone comes from if I'm Tony Khan, I would have done something like that with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Just a massive change. Not even the same name. Everything's different. But people are terrified to do it. They're terrified to do it, and I think fans, dude,
Yeah. Well,
all Walter
that's what I'm
did.
saying. Their AEW is they're just trying to redo WWE.
But
Hurt
even
Syndicate is
WWF, like if they
basically.
get Will Ospreay, they're just gonna call him Will Ospreay. I would fucking turn him into Kane Jr. I don't know. Just do. I would.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like they're when you take the Hurt business and just call them the Hurt Syndicate, and it's the same
Mhm.
fucking group of people and it's the same gimmick. All you're doing is you're just redoing WWE, but
Yeah.
worse. Why do that? Just have your own thing.
if
You know?
Goldust if Goldust didn't exist and either Tony or Hunter pitched it to someone, hey, like I don't know, let's say like right now Seth Rollins, like I'm gonna jump to AEW and Tony Khan say, well, I want to call you Goldust. Or Will Ospreay goes, or Ricky Velez too. Ricky
Ricky
Starks goes
Velez.
to Triple H, I want to show more. Like, well, I want to make you Goldust. Nobody would agree to it. Nobody would agree to it. They'd be like, it was fucking stupid. Da, da, da. But I think a huge swing like that is needed. And I think the wrestler who accepts this huge, like, I don't want to go like, maybe not Seth Rollins, but if you are, let's say, Wes Lee, right, and you go to AEW, right, I don't think he should go in as Wes Lee. I would advise him to go in as a completely different, out of this world character. And I think
Well,
then he would really make a difference in AEW. But he does.
so you know what
They
is
don't. They
happening
don't have.
is
They don't have Vince's insanity to take this fucking. I'm going to throw out everything that works about you and do something insane.
so that's what actually a lot of guys, well, not a lot of them, but a few of them coming over from AEW to NXT are doing. Like Lex King is a very good
Yeah.
example. They told the
Mhm.
guy, listen, stop calling yourself Brian Pillman Jr. Just stop it, right?
Yeah.
Stop doing that, and you got to stop carrying around this cane and acting like your dad. right?
Yeah.
So he is like doing this crazy facial hair thing, and you know what? Like, it might not be working right now, but you gotta give him credit for being like, I gotta be something different. You know,
Yeah,
I can't do the
and
same
the
shit.
Twitter fans shit on it when you do stuff like this, and it's like, no, dude, this is what's gonna take it to the next level. I mean, look, they changed. Remember when they all Walter did was changing the Gunther, and people were like, he should quit. They didn't
Yeah,
change anything else about the guy. They couldn't even handle that. And it's like, no, but sometimes these big changes are needed.
you can't listen to people's initial reaction. You gotta like spit it out. You gotta try it. You gotta go all the way with it and give it an honest try before you can give up. And I'm a big believer in that. If
Like,
people, if they just gave up completely on New Day right away, we wouldn't have gotten New Day the way they were, right? If they completely gave up on Gunther right away based on the initial reaction, Gunther wouldn't be where he is. You even if the initial online response is negative, just fucking try to see where it goes. You give it an honest try.
yeah.
But whatever, fuck it. Let's just talk
All
about
right, let's
this.
go to the next match.
Yeah, let's talk about this fucking thing. So Doc Hendricks, he joins Jim Cornette and Gorilla Monsoon, who are arguing about Owen Hart not being at the pay per view. And Gorilla Monsoon says, "Hey, this is the main event is still going to be on. You better find Owen, or you better find a replacement, or whatever." It's
I love
Jim.
Gorilla as the enforcer though.
Yeah, I actually liked Gorilla Monsoon as like the interim like president. I really did like that. And
Yeah,
um
I um I would have used him like if he had lived. I would have just at least had him make cameos every now and then to bark
yeah,
orders.
I think they probably would have if his health wasn't like shitty and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know he
Um
was still doing commentary on Shotgun Saturday for the international markets up until like SummerSlam '99.
wow. I didn't even know that. Yeah.
So and he's like, yeah, he's with Michael Cole and Kevin Kelly.
Wow.
They should
Let's
put.
go to the match.
I wish they would
Yeah.
put those out on the Peacock. Those, I would love to hear him comment some
Yeah, it's
'98
kind of
matches.
crazy how Peacock like like they just don't want to put everything on, you know? It's kind of weird, but whatever.
Whatever.
Pretty soon it'll be Netflix's turn, so who cares? Let's go to match number 2. Psycho Sid with Ted DiBiase versus Henry O. Godwin. Oh my god, I can't believe Sid's second match in. He's not even opening match anymore. He's just like second match. He went
Dude,
from the main event to second match guy.
this is the other thing about it is like, bro, Sid is such a fucking star, and you can tell he's like, I know Vince doesn't believe in me. You can just tell like he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. Like, dude, you've devalued Sid so fucking fast, and
So fast, so fast.
don't
It's a huge
understand it because
value.
then they treat him seriously next year, and it's magic, and it's an era that people still talk about to this day when you take this guy seriously.
So if you're wondering, hey, how come Sid is in match number 2 against Henry O. Godwin? Well, it's because Sid and Ted DiBiase were both slopped by Henry Godwin, which is perfect, makes perfect sense of why the storyline's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Jim Ross says it's going to be a slobber knocker, and Jared King Lawler goes, "What does that mean?" That was really
Oh,
interesting. I was
that's
like,
so funny. It's a start.
"Yeah,
It's a start.
yeah, it's the start of slobber
It's all
knocker."
coming together.
It's like, what is that? What is slobber knocker? Henry O. Godwin, he has back problems. And
He has more than
Sid
back
is,
problems.
yeah, he's got
He's
back
got the problem
problems.
that he's not a good worker.
No, he's not bad. I always liked Henry O. Godwin. He wasn't bad.
Oh, well, this
But
match was not.
well, the story is he's got like he took a power bomb from Sid like on a Raw once, and it's caused him back problems. So Sid's gonna take advantage of this, and Sid's beating on him the whole match. Godwin does fight back and hits his slop drop, but Ted DiBiase breaks up the cover, and he also later trips up Godwin. Sid ends up hitting the power bomb on Godwin to win the match. Afterwards, Sid mocks Godwin with these post match antics, and then he goes, "Hey, let's put the slop bucket on him." When Bam Bam Bigelow comes out and he saves Godwin, then Kama comes out, and then they start double teaming, and then they go to put the slop on Bam Bam Bigelow, but then Godwin steals the slop bucket back and he pours it on Ted DiBiase for him to have the slop all over him. This whole thing is a C. It's nah, it's just like it's not good. It's average
You
at
know what
best.
was what was so bad? Well, first of all, Teddy DiBiase's a manager, not good. He's not good. He is not
No,
a good manager. He's the pits. And he actually brings down Sid's aura by walking out with him. And the other
yeah,
thing that's not good, when they're arguing with the slot bucket, it just seems so forced and so like it's just two guys being told to improv, and it looks so like why are you just you're sitting like this is a live show, and you're like I want to do the slot bucket, I want to do. It's just like bro, you're so good. You just like I almost feel like Vince was doing that on purpose. Like he didn't like the way Sid left in '92. He's like, I'm gonna hire you, but I'm gonna fucking bury you, so you mean nothing to anyone. Because that's what this run feels like.
it's almost like he's like going WCW. I want you guys to put me out of business. Like I want you to put me.
How did he not get that WCW was how was he confused that he was losing the reigns to WCW with this
You
year?
know
I
why?
don't.
Because at this point, it's been already like a full decade, like 10 years of him on top,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
That's a long time, dude. It's like 10 years. That's a decade of him on
yeah.
top that I don't think I think he thought he was untouchable, you know?
Well, he's very touchable.
Yeah, he is. No,
Like
everybody
Mel
is.
Phillips
Yeah.
with the Ring Boys, very touchable.
Yes,
So,
exactly. All right. So Doc Hendricks, he is with Gorilla Monsoon again. And they're continuing this. Gorilla Monsoon, he gives Cornette two options. He goes, all right, Owen's still missing. All right, so you have two options about like what to do. You're gonna either find somebody else or you gotta forfeit. By the way, um uh this is gonna be like that string storyline that's gonna continue for the
yeah,
rest of the
that's why I
show.
said it feels like a raw. It feels like a raw.
I do kind of like that. I always like a show when there's like one storyline that's kind of connecting everything.
Oh yeah, you know who never does this is AEW. They never do
Yeah, they
this.
never do that. They never do that. They should that's one thing they should do is start off with the main event stuff happening in the beginning of the show. And in between, they cut to like moments of it leading up to what's going to happen to it in the
No,
main
because
event.
the fans need to focus on the banger that Will Ospreay's having
No,
against. Oh, you know
it's
what?
so
I want to do a
stupid.
little adium. I'm sorry. I want to do a little adium to the Ric Flair Arn Anderson talk. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, I need to make this point. All right. I need to
Okay.
make this point. Because these characters are friends. They've been friends for 10 years. Now they're at a crossroads. They're going to fight. And when the match starts, they're very delicate with each other. Compare that to AEW. So in AEW, fucking Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay earlier in this year, they have a one-on-one match on Dynamite where they're literally trying to break each other's back. Like they're trying to break each other's neck in this match, right?
Mhm.
Now, but they're friends. Ric Flair and Arn Anderson have a disagreement, and they're not trying to do that because of their friendship. This is why fucking AEW's in the toilet. I'm sorry, I had to make that point. Keep going.
Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go to match number 3: Davey Boy Smith versus Bam Bam Bigelow. We do see during this match Jim Cornette talking to Sid in the back, possibly trying to get him to be the replacement. And Bam Bam Bigelow in this match, going back to this match, he is just controlling the pace and the momentum in the beginning. Davey, though, sideswipes Bam Bam Bigelow, which causes him to fly outside the ring. And then Bam Bam, however, it crotches Davey on the rope, so it's still even. Davey Boy does chop block Bam Bam Bigelow, and he finally starts getting the heat on Bam Bam, working on the left leg. The Bulldog tries to body slam, but fails, and this allows Bam Bam Bigelow to start making a short-lived comeback. Ultimately, it's very short-lived as Davey hits his power slam to win the match. Another C match, just very average, you know.
Uh yeah, this kept going on and on and on and
Again, there's
on.
nothing to write
And
home about. It's just a match, you know.
yeah, it just nothing happens. They're trying to get over Bulldog's heel character. They're using Bam Bam. They know they're over him, so they're trying to use him to get people over. Kind of sucked. Kind of sucked.
Mm-hmm. Then after this, we got Henry Godwin and Ted DiBiase, who's also still got the slop all over him, talking on the hotline, right? And I was thinking, then Ted DiBiase, he's got all this shit all over him,
He
and
has all this money too.
he has to talk to a Mark on the phone about like, yeah, I got all this garbage on me. How do you think it makes me feel? Like, Some
Yeah, like,
kid.
and also, wouldn't Ted DiBiase like have like his assistant like wash him off before he goes on the hotline? He's $1 million
Why
man.
does he have to even answer the hotline, right? It's just
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Um,
Why? That's true. I'm the $1 million man, but like I own like property. I'm like this billionaire. It would be like if Trump lost the election, and like, but now you have to sit on the hotline.
yeah,
Okay,
it just makes no sense. Anyways, back in the ring, we got Bob Black. We got
Bob
Backlund.
Blackman,
Bob Blackland.
but
He's got
Johnny
a
B. Black
dictionary.
and Bob Blackman, the new Nation of Domination.
He's got a dictionary with him, and he cuts a promo in the ring. And he introduces Dean Douglas, who he says he's a test that Razor Ramon is gonna fail. And Dean Douglas actually does the introduction for Razor Ramon. I actually did like that part. It's like
Yeah.
he's the heel and he gets on the microphone and he's doing the introduction for his opponent.
Mhm.
I like that. It was pretty cool. Razor Ramon, however, does not like that, and he starts attacking Dean Douglas right away. We're gonna go to match number 4: Dean Douglas versus Razor Ramon. Razor sends Dean outside 2 times, and as we see the split screen, Mabel talking with Jim Cornette and Yokozuna. So it looks like, oh my gosh, imagine if Mabel decides that he will
I
be
like
the
how Mabel
replacement.
was wearing his crown. He just wears his crown around the
Yeah,
building.
he's the king, brother. He's the king. Um, what do you call it? Daxley, they should have used Mabel. That would have been awesome.
I mean,
Two
the
big
match
fat
starts
guys.
anyway.
Yeah, it probably would have stunk. Anyway, Razor Ramon controls most of this match until Dean Douglas finally sends Razor Ramon out by his hair. And Dean Douglas is now starting the heat process, and his offense is just meh. Very weak looking shots to the back. They're just like weak looking forearms to the back. There's no urgency in any of his moves. There's no oomph. Like there's no energy in his any of
You
his
know,
offense.
he is. I can tell his confidence is shook because he was the man in ECW. He was treated like he was basically treated like he was like their Steve Austin. He was treated like a badass. And now he has to go to being cowardly heel, and I don't think he knows how to do it. He's put in a different
Yeah,
role and can't handle it.
yeah, he that just shows though he's not a great wrestler that he says he is
Exactly.
because he's one dimensional. He could only do one thing,
Yeah.
he doesn't know how to play the other role,
He
And
doesn't. He doesn't understand. It's all about the game and how you play.
yeah, here's a good example: William Regal. William Regal could do cowardly heel when he needed to do cowardly heel, but then when he needed to have like a hard hitting match against someone like Fit Finley or Chris Benoit, he can do that, right? That's why he's considered one of the greatest. Shane he's like a one note, he's a one trick pony kind of guy. Anyways, things pick up and they start going back and forth until Dean Douglas pulls Razor into the referee, causing a ref bump. Razor hits the Razor's edge, but 1, 2, 3 Kid runs in and he does the 3 count. And Razor gets off the cover thinking that the ref made the call when he realizes it was 1, 2, 3 Kid and he gets all mad, like, why'd you do that? And he shoves 1, 2, 3 Kid out of the ring, which allows Dean Douglas to roll up a distracted Razor Ramon for the win. Afterwards, the 1, 2, 3 Kid and Razor Ramon, they get back in the ring and they fucking kind of get into it with a shoving match with the Kid looking worse. But not as worse as this entire match. I give this a C-. It was awful.
Yeah, this wasn't good. The
Shane
Razor
Douglas is
Ramon,
bad. He's bad.
the
Shane
Razor
Douglas.
Ramon 1, 2, 3 Kid feud. Now they're turning 1, 2, 3 Kid in the heel. I don't think it works because the whole reason the 1, 2, 3 Kid became a star is that look how ridiculous it is that this guy beat him, and then Razor Ramon
Mhm.
takes him under his wing. For now, 1, 2, 3 Kid to be beating Razor and to be fucking with Razor, it just doesn't work for me. And
It's
it's
like they're trying to recreate Bret Owen, and
yeah, and it doesn't work. And
it
Shane
doesn't work.
Douglas doesn't work in this role.
No.
I think also what also kind of he knows the clique doesn't like him. He knows that. Like
Mhm.
he's in the ring with two people that don't fucking like him, and I think that affects his work and that affects his performance. All in all, just a waste of time. Everyone should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah. So then we got Todd Pettengale. He starts hyping In Your House 4. It's going to happen in Canada with the debut of Goldust. So, I'm looking forward to that. I wish this In Your House 3 was already over because I don't want to watch it.
So Goldust's debut match is against Marty Jannetty. So
I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to that because I'm already sick and tired of this fucking pay-per-view. But unfortunately, we still got like a few more matches to get through.
This felt like a long 2 hours, bro. This show.
Yeah, it's very long 2 hours. We get Doc Hendricks. He's in Shawn Michaels gear, HBK gear, and he goes, "If you buy these sunglasses and this shirt, we'll also throw you this VHS for $30." Oh, everything. And then
dude, the way they hawk merchandise on this show, I'm wondering if they were moving any merch at this time.
It sounds like they're so desperate for money.
Right?
Yeah, it's like, if you buy this shirt and this glasses, we'll even throw you in a free VHS. Please,
dude. But you know what? Because Medusa later on also shows the VHS tape. It looks like a blank. It looks like a blank tape that they bought at like Walmart or something. Like, couldn't you at least had a box? Like, just had like the WrestleMania 11 box or something. Like, you're gonna copy WrestleMania 11. You know?
Yeah, Shawn Michaels and Diesel, they joined Doc, and they're like, "We're the two dudes with attitude." This is so cheesy too. It's just like I never thought the two dudes with attitude was cool. I always thought that was super corny. It just sounds corny, you know?
It's very 90s. It's very 90s. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a fan. I do like the name because it's very like Burger King 90s. It's very like corporate. It's like it's a corporate version of cool. Two dudes with attitudes.
You know, like Burger King had their McDonald's had Ronald McDonald.
Burger King had the kids club, and one kid like had like glasses and a jacket with shoulder pads.
Yeah, that's what this is like. Kid Vid or something is named,
but
right?
Look, I like it with a nostalgia glasses. If I had been watching in real time, I would have wanted both these guys to die. I actually did want them to die, which is why I didn't watch the show. So there you go.
By the way, that kid's name was Kid Vid. Remember Kid Vid?
Kid Vid.
Yeah. Remember when they got that Hispanic kid Lingo who could draw really well?
And then remember the kid in the wheelchair was called Wheels?
Yeah, he was called Wheels. Yeah.
Oh, Wheels.
Oh man. I remember those Burger King Kids Club. Anyways.
Walk up to a guy in a wheelchair and say, "Do you mind if I call you Wheels?" See how they respond.
So we're gonna go to our fifth match, and this is happening because Jean-Pierre Lafitte, he had stole Bret Hart's stuff in the ring. His glasses one time, and then his jacket. And Bret Hart cuts a promo and he goes, "Hey, I'm the one who's Captain Crunch, not you. Give me back my jacket." Right? His shitty pink jacket. We're gonna go to match number 5. Jean-Pierre Lafitte versus Bret Hart. Bret Hart starts off the match with a dive to the outside, but it's dark because it's like during Bret Hart's entrance, all the lights are down, and he fucking overshoots the dive, and it's not really Jean-Pierre's fault because it's so dark, and he can't. I was like, dude, there's no way this guy could see Bret Hart flying at him, and he goes over Jean-Pierre Lafitte and like almost lands on his head. But Jean-Pierre is able to kind of get Bret's legs a bit, so Bret kind of turns around and he lands hard on his back on the floor, on a cement floor. It looked bad. I was like, I don't know how Bret just got up from that.
He's excellent with execution.
I guess you're right. Jean-Pierre starts working over Bret for a while, and then Bret fights back until he spears the ring post, which Jerry the King Lawler got a kick out of that. Jean-Pierre works on Bret, but then he misses the cannonball, which lets Bret fight back, including fighting on the outside, where Jean-Pierre takes a nasty fall himself from a missed somersault plancha. They go back and forth some more until Bret crouches on the ropes sideways, but then Jean-Pierre goes up on top, and he goes for a splash, but he misses that. Bret puts on the sharpshooter on Jean-Pierre for the win, and he gets his jacket back. This was surprisingly, for a Bret Hart match, not good. I gave this a C, and I think I know why.
Good PCO?
PCO is a lot like Dean Douglas in this era, and I'll tell you why. If you listen, because before I saw these matches, I'm like everybody else. I listened to a lot of the shoot interviews, right? Where Dean Douglas was like, "Oh, you know, the Click stunted my they stunted my rise, they stunted my push," and PCO said the same thing too, right?
Mhm.
But when you watch this, they're both really not that good. They're just not
Yeah,
that good, you know?
I,
They're
I
like, yeah, go ahead.
I still think this is the best match on the card. Sadly,
Um, no, I don't think this is the best match on the card.
what's the best match? You can say the main event.
Yeah, the main event.
You're a more
And
forgiving man than me.
but the bar is low, but I don't think this was the best match. Something about PCO when he's Jean Pierre Lafitte, he just he doesn't have it. I don't know what to say. He doesn't like he's not fucking up moves, but he doesn't like put the moves where they should be. Like there's no like he's just going from move to move. He's not really telling any stories in the ring, you know?
I, I think the biggest thing about '95, the biggest crime, is that they are just utterly wasting Bret Hart. They are just
Yeah.
wasting him.
They're wasting Bret
They
Hart, yeah.
they I mean Bob. I mean let's you go to the beginning of the year. All right, you have Diesel. Okay, great. The match was horrible, right?
Mhm.
Then it's like you have Bob Backlund. Then you have Hakushi, which is fantastic. They don't do anything with Hakushi. Then you have
Mhm.
Jerry Lawler again. Then you have Isaac Yankem. He's not even on the July pay per view. You have Isaac fucking Yankem. And then after that, and that match was pretty good too. You have Jean Paul Lafitte. Here's the thing: they're using Brett to get these guys over, but then they don't do anything with them. They don't do anything with Hakushi. They don't do anything with Isaac Yankem, and they certainly didn't do anything with John Paul Lafitte. And 90%
Yeah.
of the clique doesn't like these people. So Brett, you're just wasting Brett. You're wasting Brett a whole year. He should be in all the top storylines, and he's not.
There's got to be a reason why Junior didn't
Because
want
because Vince was like, I need to put all my focus on Diesel until he realized that Diesel wasn't the answer, which happens very soon because in November Bret Hart beats Diesel with the belt. So
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Anyway,
Mhm.
Doc Hendricks, he's back with Jim Cornette, Mr. Fuji, Yokozuna, and the replacement tag team partner, Davey Boy Smith. And Gorilla Monsoons when he goes, all right, you found the replacement. I gave you that option. You lived up to it. Fine. The match is still back on, but the tag titles are all still on the line. Nothing has changed
Let me ask
except
you
for
a
your tag
question:
team partner.
if Jim Cornette went, you know what? I can't find anyone. We'll just give up the belts. What would the main event have been? Would they have just like fucking like what? What like so we're all like the match is off. You can't find a replacement. So then what would the main event have been?
That's true. Maybe it would have been Shawn Michaels versus Diesel.
I mean, but that would have been a funny like they go like, well, he can't find a replacement, so the main event now is gonna be like Undertaker versus Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, maybe. So anyways, before this match, Medusa comes out, as you mentioned. She comes out through the front door of the In Your House set,
Dude, this is
and
the
she's
champion. This is the
modeling.
champion. And she
Yeah, she is a champion. She doesn't have a match. She's there to model, guys. She's wearing the triple header T-shirt. She's showing off the T-shirt,
ugly
and then
shirt. Ugly
she
shirt.
she fucking pulls out the fucking VHS, and I'm like, at first I was like, is that a sex tape? What is she fucking selling? Right? It's just like
It's
a blank tape. I do not
um
blame her for taking the title to WCW at this point.
you know
I
what
really
I
don't
want?
blame
I want them to do. They don't. Something I want WWE to do stuff just to rattle Twitter. I want at well, it's too late because they made whatever pay per views after Survivor Series. If there's one between that and Royal Rumble, the women have no matches, and Liv Morgan just models a T-shirt that you can order. And I want to see reaction on Twitter
her.
and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, people would flip out. Yeah, but they
dude, that
should.
would be
That would
so
just
funny to see a reaction. Like, but no, dude, this is how far female wrestling has come because it's like, what a fucking waste of Medusa. Like, you
what
fly
a
her in,
waste. Yeah. Hmm.
and she can talk, she can work. You cut up her whole body to sell some shitty T-shirt that I bet you nobody bought.
Hmm. She like yeah, it's pretty awful. And like I said, I do not blame her for now
I
taking
don't
the title.
blame her.
Yeah, I don't blame her at all for what she did. Let's go to our main event, match number 6, triple header match. Yokozuna and Davey Boy Smith representing the tag team championship, which is on the line with Jim Cornette versus Shawn Michaels and Diesel. They got the world title and the IC title on the line as well. Davey Boy Smith and Shawn Michaels, they start the match. And then Shawn Michaels and Diesel, they everybody gets in and they send both Yokozuna and Davey out the ring. So the faces are standing tall in the beginning. Then Yokozuna gets in there with Shawn Michaels and Shawn Michaels starts mocking Yokozuna, doing the hey, let's do that sumo standoff, let's do that sumo thing, and it's all fun and games until he runs into a fucking back elbow by Yokozuna. That was a cool spot. It was awesome because it was like,
whenever Shawn was in the ring with Yoko, I don't know if you noticed this, but he gets in the ring with him a few times. 96, he goes out of his way to make Yoko look stupid, and I feel it's almost like to mock the guys who like jobbed to him because Hogan got destroyed by him, Luger, Bret Hart. It's almost like to be like to mock it. To me, it just made me. To me, I remember seeing clips of like Shawn whooping Yoko's ass, and I'm like, this is unbelievable to me. Like this is not like this. This doesn't look good. You know.
yeah, but I did like this though because it's like Shawn Michaels kind of his character of like he thinks everything's a joke, but Yokozuna one back elbow and Shawn's like on the floor dying, and it's like, yeah, man, this is maybe you don't joke around with this guy, you know?
There's a match with Yoko versus Shawn in a Raw in '96 where Shawn treats Yokozuna like fucking Gunther would treat a fucking Apollo
Otis.
Crews.
Oh well,
Like just
well when we get to
destroys
that,
Yoko, and it's so stupid to me. Anyway,
yeah. Well, when we get to that in '96, I guess we'll have a different outtake. But here, it's not really like that. Diesel though, he has better luck with Yokozuna when he gets in there, but not against Davy Boy Smith, who Davy does try to do like a vertical suplex, but they both fucking fail at it. So they got to do it a second time, which is kind of like, I mean, it is what it is. Diesel, he does fight back, and then Shawn Michaels. There's even a point where he gets on top of Diesel's shoulders, and then he jumps off and do a splash onto Davy Boy Smith. That was a cool spot. Shawn Michaels, he gets crotched in the ropes by Davy, and then he gets sent outside the ring, and Shawn Michaels gets beat on for a while until Yokozuna tries to go for a bonsai, and he misses, and the fans start chanting USA, USA. Diesel tags in and he beats on Davey. All four men are in the ring at once. The two dudes with attitude, they start beating up the heels. Shawn Michaels knocks Jim Cornette off the apron and he hits a sweet chin music on Yokozuna. And then he saves Diesel from the pin. This is the Shawn Michaels show at this point. He's hulking up, brother. When
yeah,
all of a sudden, when all of a sudden Owen Hart shows up and he looks like he's gonna do something, but instead he eats a powerbomb from Diesel, who decides to pin Owen Hart, and then he wins. They win the tag titles. Um, while the ending's all fucking weird and it's a bit frenzied, this is the match that had the most amount of heat, and it was fun to watch at least. So I gave this a B. I think this was the best match on a very very lousy card. I would not watch anything on the show.
I I think that ending is horrible because it's insulting to everyone involved. It's a waste of everyone's time. So the after effect is because he pinned no one and no one was really in the match, the tag titles get held up. So no one wins anything.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
it's fair to say. Yeah.
so it just is like a giant waste of time. It's a giant waste of a show, a giant waste of time. So while I agree with you, there's a lot of action and stuff. Um, I got to go with Brett and John Pierre, Lafitte, or PCO, whatever you want to call this son of a bitch. That's my favorite match of the night.
That's fair.
However, the whole show stinks. Avoid it. It is a horrible 2 hours. It is almost like Vince is trying to get everyone less over. Um, it's horrible. It's WWF is in the fucking pits, and there's no recovery in sight. There's no recovery in sight for this company. And with
Do
that in
not watch
mind,
this.
next week will be In Your House 4, featuring Diesel versus British Bulldog. Then in 2 weeks, it is Halloween Havoc 95, featuring the Giant versus Hulk Hogan. Then in 3 weeks, it's Survivor Series 95, featuring Bret Hart versus Diesel. And then in 4 weeks, it's World War III 1995, featuring the 60-man Battle Royal for the WCW title. What are you looking forward to, Denny?
I'm actually looking forward to Diesel versus Bret Hart and Survivor Series because
That's a good
those
match.
two, yeah, they always seem to have a good match. Those two guys. What about you, man?
Diesel versus Bret Hart, because that is a great match. That is also the first time they ever do a Spanish announce table spot in WWE.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Looking
but
forward.
that match is excellent. It's one of the best. I'm going to say it's one of the best Survivor Series matches of all time. If you just count that pay per view, it's top 10 of Survivor Series matches, and I think it's their best match. So I'm very excited for that. And then I'm also looking forward to how bad Halloween Havoc 95 is, because I have seen that main event and it's atrocious.
Is it?
So
All right.
I'm hoping the rest of the card saves that show. So we'll see.
We'll see.
All right,
All
guys,
right.
that's the show. If you enjoy the show, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Fuck Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Ray Goots, Andrew, son of Lee. And please leave a comment if you love this match. If you masturbated to the three titles match, let us know. Don't let us know. That's kind of weird. That's what you masturbated. Right. All right, guys. We'll see. We'll see you next week for In Your
Bye.
House. In Your House 4, Daddy. We'll see you then.